What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Pillars of Eternity. So in the previous episode, we had staged a little bit of a coup, not in the baby sort where it's adorable, more in sort of like the murderous, we don't like you having power, therefore we're going to take it from you type of way. Let's find out what kind of good stuff we have here. We have Justice, which is a great sword two-handed. Now, I may have just killed a good guy. I don't know. I'm kind of caught up in intrigues, the likes of which I really have no appreciation for. So the downside here is that I may have just done something really, really bad for the land. However, for right now, he did drop a pretty badass two-handed sword. I might give that to our barbarian and just kind of like see what happens here. It's got crushing lash, accuracy. Pretty cool. Pretty badass sword. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it'll work. I think that's probably just a fine robe right there. The loot is not actually what I expected out of this one. I thought we would get better. Not a lot of cash either, oddly enough. The champions of Barath, I actually think, were the main problem in that fight. We struggle with them. We struggle with them a lot. I don't know why the archmages don't like to be looted, but they seem to have troubles here. There's nothing with the crown.
See what I can find.
Ah, see, that's what I was looking for. Looks like we have a fine scepter. That'll be pretty cool, although it is a crushing weapon, so that doesn't really help out that much. I'd rather use wands if it's going to be on anybody else. However, we did get a couple of gemstones right there, a little bit of amethyst and some other useful things that we can use. There was no key right there, which I was a little bit interested in because, oh. We heard that you had moved against the keep, and yet we have arrived too late, but a moment earlier and I would have heard his dying breath. No matter. It's done. The tyrant is dead and our village is free to move in a greater future. Gilded Vale owes you a great debt, and I owe you a great debt. You have accomplished what I could not. Take what rewards you care from Radric's vaults. You have earned them twice over. Kolsch looks over the room smiling. There is much to do. We must send word to the Earl, of course. Revoke the cruel laws that Radric has instated. But do not think that we will forget your assistance. You have brought about great change. Take pride. Everyone will remember this moment. Come, men. Clear these bodies from my hall. With that, Kolsch strides eagerly towards the throne. And so Gilded Vale, we just got an extraordinary positive. I guess everybody loves us now, so we went with the people's will. Can you hear the people sing? Singing the song of angry men, it is the I like that song. That song gets intense. That's like one of those songs that you listen to while you're on your jog, so it's just like, next thing you know, you're like sprinting and shit, and you don't even know why. You're just like, well, damn, that's sort of embarrassing.
Hello?
So do I get a key or whatever? I guess that we can go through here. Did we?
I can do that.
Well, we got 3,600 experience, and so one person leveled up. It's odd that nobody else leveled up from that. Still, I'm going to keep her as my primary stealther for right now. We'll move on and we'll save the points for the next time around. We've got some level up options. We've got Accurate Carnage, and so improving the accuracy of secondary attacks from Carnage. I don't think we have Carnage. Savage Defiance, causing it to provide a defensive bonus. I think Savage Defiance, Barbaric Blow, what else do you have? I'd like to go with something here. Poleaxe, Battle Axe, Sword, Morning Star, Rapier. I don't know if I want to go after like two-handed swords or what I want to do right now. I think that Knight's a pretty good call. We want to give her a weapon specialization. Dangerous Implement. That's Savage Attack and some other stuff. I would say to go with two-handed style maybe. Two-weapon style makes her attack a lot faster, which does stack with her Berserk mode, which might make her actually a lot better in that regard. But I don't know. I kind of like two-handed weapons on characters that are badass like that. I'm a little bit antsy about the way that I want to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll stick with like... I wish I could see the things that she has already. Like the talents that she already contains. I guess I'll pull... I'm going to squeeze the trigger, and what we'll do right now is we'll just go for two-handed style, I guess. And so there it is. I like two-handed weapons, and we don't have anybody in our party using them right now. And so we'll move that forward. She'll be a two-handed specialist from here on out. And then we will take Justice, and we'll put that on her so that she can strike hard with that. We'll take off these weapons right here. And inside of our stash, Justice is going to be this big badass dude right here. That is a hell of a sword. That thing is, I mean, it doesn't look as impressive as I had hoped for a named weapon. I was hoping it would have little runes or something on it. Some kind of cool magical distribution taking place. We're going to have to sneak around and see if there's another way around right here because we can't get into that area through the proper path. Unfortunately, we lack the lock-picking skills, and so since we lack picking, we're going to have to go somewhere else. I think that if we go back up and around the roof, though, in the way that we did before, that should work out. I don't know if there's still going to be guys around that need to be dealt with while we're running through the base either, so we'll want to keep an eye out just to make sure that we haven't gotten ourselves in over our heads for right now. There's also the vaults down below, which we haven't taken a look at. Let's go to the roof first and see if we can find a way around to get at the treasure. I'm glad that we managed to complete that quest. I wasn't sure who the proper person to go after was, because sometimes when you deal with characters like these, a lot of the time it can seem as though both are just varying shades of bad guy. And so in that regard, I was a little bit curious as to who I should probably back up. Looks like we've got a winged helm right there. Okay. I winged a helm one time. It actually dented it, and then no longer was it that useful. I was like, eh, well, my helmet has a dent in it right now. These guys all appear to be doing their own thing. Does this count as thieving right now? Or is that totally cool? Everybody's cool with it. Fantastic. He did say take whatever you wanted, and so I am going to take that down. He said from the vaults, but since I can't find the vaults because I'm directionally challenged, we're just going to steal whatever we want from everywhere else. It doesn't have a red hand, so it's fine. Got an axe right there. I can only imagine the amount of money we're going to make after, like, distributing all this treasure to random vendors throughout the lands. Priestess of Barath. We got a little bit more treasure right there, and then we've got a scrawled note. Got your gift. I believe someone actually wrote down that kind of thing on parchment. I left something for you in the chapel. Careful not to go digging in the wrong skull again. Okay, so it appears as though there might be some kind of treasure in the chapel were we to look hard enough. Let's take some scrolls here. And then there's a secret drawer right there that you could actually miss if you weren't paying attention. We'll bring everybody else through the room to see if there's anything more challenging hiding in the crevices of the room. It looks like there is not, unless it outdoes our skill. There's got to be like a master key to this place somewhere, because we can't get into any of these locks. Do we have lockpicks around? We have some lockpicks right there. Let me break out the rest of the lockpicks and see if maybe those will be helpful. It looks like I do have 11 of them, so I could get into some of these locations. However, I'd like to start off slow with that and just make sure that there's not a key around that I could use before this. So the lock's been picked by the most applicable person. Up in this room, I don't see anything happening. This place is really, really large. Like, seriously, what do you need a house this big for? This house is enormous. Like, nobody could actually, like... I guess if you're the leader of the land, I guess you would need it to, like, orchestrate war parties and stuff like that. But still, it just seems like a bit much to me. And the extravagance. The extravagance is overdoing it. And so, into this room, we got anything in here? Looks like we got, like, a little treasure box. Yeah, with 39 golden dukes. We'll take those. And then we've got the right of walking. I don't know why you would need a piece of paper to teach you how to walk properly, but it might be something that people in this land need, so there it is. Can we get into there somehow? That has the marked stink of a secret door. I don't know. Is this the chapel? He said there's something in one of the skulls in the chapel, so I figure we'll give a look around for it. Ah, there it is. It's in the eye socket. What happens if we dig around in the wrong skull? Oh, it's Audra. Okay. Not like the most impressive of treasures, but I guess I'll take it. Sweet musky incense is stored in the boxes under the altar. Ah, there it is. See, I knew that looked like a secret door. It wasn't a very well-hidden secret door. We've got another path that goes down right there. Still looking after, like, a key or something that'll help us get into some of these locations. I don't know. The looting is half the fun. I was going to edit this out and just, like, loot stuff and then explain what I got afterwards. But I didn't want it to be like a show and tell or, like, Bad Christmas or whatever. I wanted everybody to know, like, what the loot was that we picked up from the varying localities. Like, they have, like, 10... like, there were so many dining rooms. There's, like, 150 dining rooms in here. I hope the king's men are eating well. This goes up even further? Huh. Whenever there's like a tower or something we could take a look at. I like this kind of exploration type deal where there's nothing actually like happening and you don't have to worry about being killed by anything. You just have to like wander around and have a good time all by your lonesome without being harassed by random enemies, mobs, and things like that. We got some golden dukes in there. Got so much treasure that they store it in barrels. Brings whole new meaning to barrels of fun. A couple of little, I don't know, we got a helmet and a little something rather, a moonstone. We've got iron skin and a little bit more treasure. How do we come out on this one? We're at 3,000, dude. Wow, we've got a lot of treasure sitting around. Got a lot of treasure sitting around. I'm impressed so far. And we haven't even sold off all the excess. That's the even crazier part, is that we haven't even gotten around to selling all the stuff that's in our inventory. We should be pretty flush with cash by the time we get the hell on out of here. Is this done? Let's see here. Fawn Prima, Tar Prima, main keep construction, nothing new to report. Is that still functioning right there? Okay, the Western Barbican's still got some time going on with it. Okay, well, we've searched this area. It looks like we've just about gotten everything from here. Let's consider going down the stairs that are off to the side here. And I know we were trying to find a way to work around and get at the King's Chamber or something, or get at the vaults, without actually having to go through all those really, really powerful doors. However, Not a whole lot I could do about it right now. I'm really sort of struggling with ways that we can get in here. I guess we can come back later and make it happen. What is this going to cost me? Let's see here. Requires the proper key. Okay, well, we don't have the proper key either. I was hoping we'd end up with some kind of goodie right now. I don't know if maybe we should talk to Kolsch and see if maybe he's got a quest for us. We don't have the proper key, though, and I don't know exactly who drops it. I would hate to waste all these lockpicks and then come back in a little bit and find... Oh, that's the same door. That's the door that came out right there. I'm an idiot. Okay, so never mind. I'm just bad at identifying things. Well, let's go down to the basement then, and we'll see what it has for us. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more treasure down there. Wrangle a couple more golden dukes to grease our palms. My palms are not yet greasy enough, although I hate that feeling where you just had like something like fried chicken, for example. You're all greasy. I hate that so much. Even in between bites, I got to get on top of that and just like wipe it all off and be like, yeah, grease, get away from me. Get up off my fingers. No, grease. How can I do fine motor skills? How can I do it? And the grease is like, I'm all over you right now, and you need special soap to get rid of me. And I was like, oh, man, this is why nobody likes you, Grease. This is why nobody likes you. Grease the musical sitting over in the corner looking real nervous right now. I don't like Grease the musical either. It's a terrible musical. By comparison to, like, so many better musicals, you should be like, yeah, no thank you. You are not the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go up here, and then if we go back through the front door, we've got a lot of exploration to do, and I apologize if you wanted this to be edited out and then just, like, talk about the gold. As I said, I prefer to loot with everybody on screen. We went through all the trouble of actually making it happen in between episodes, so, like, when you go through and you kill all of the applicable people for a quest, that was tough. Did other people struggle with that fight as much as I did? That fight, actually, it's not even that I struggled. It's just sort of that I ran out of resources. That's all there is to it, is that eventually you just kind of, like, run out of backup stuff, and you're just like, well, And those paladins are so tanky, and it's so difficult to deal any damage to the little bastards that you can really have problems. What's this right here?
Hey, of course.
I feel like there should be a secret door right here. Doesn't it look like there's a door right there? I don't know. Or is it just me? What determines whether or not you see secret implements? Like, what stat makes that happen? 77,000 people donated to the creation of this game? That's wild. Although, honestly, Kickstarter backing, I'm super iffy about it because, honestly, a company like Obsidian can afford to publish their own games. And so at that point, it just sort of seems like they're just outsourcing their cost to their fans. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm not a big fan of, like, big companies using Kickstarter and things like that because they have the financial resources, whether they like to, like, sort of tiptoe around it or not. It's a pet peeve of mine. Working in indie gaming, it is a pet peeve of mine. Like, I guess if you could also make the argument, though, if fans want to see it get made, what better way for the fans to make sure it gets made than to pay for it themselves? I mean, that guarantees that it can't be canceled without at least some sort of, like, major repercussion. Frustrate some people. Let's check out the dungeons in here, although I feel like we should... Let's see here. Oh, Bag of Bones got enough to level up. Hooray for you, Bag of Bones. Let's jump up in here. We're going to keep his lore creeping on upwards. Save the points for the next level up. He didn't do anything on this level. He just got, like, what? Oh, no, he got level 3 spells. Never mind. So he's got Circular Protection. So that's a defensive AoE. We've got Despondent Blows. And so that lowers enemies' accuracy and hit range. We've got Dire Blessing. And so that makes us... Oh, it increases our crit. We've got Pillar of Faith. It's a crushing divine judgment that falls upon our enemies. Okay. And it gives knockdown as well. Prayer against restraint, and so that gets rid of people with stuck and also hobbled. Moderate endurance heal. Warding seal, and so that does shock damage. It's like a landmine. And then watchful presence. Blesses allies with the aid of a sympathetic soul, releasing a healing effect when their endurance is low. Ah, kind of a babysitter spell right there. That's kind of cool. Okay, I could get behind that. That seems like the sort of thing that might be nice to have around. I'm going to go back into stealth mode, even though it makes us walk slowly while we're in here. Ooh, that'll save us some money on some random stuff. I should probably talk to Durant's too, shouldn't I? A little bit more cash. Glad that we made a dash down into the stash. Ooh, what's going on in here? Revenants. What? Interesting. What does a Revenant do? I'm a little bit worried about its combat capabilities. Still, I am a little bit relieved to see that there's something that we can fight down in here. Come at me, Revenant bastards. Alright, so that gets him casting. Let's get some people started off. Let me put everything back on normal speed so that we're not, like, flying through combat too rapidly for me to feel comfortable. I'm going to use this little opening right here to try out some of our new buffs. Let's give ourselves a zone of control, shall we?
Huh?
Alright, you in combat. You do the same thing on this side with the gull.
On your word.
Durance, I'm going to have you loop around from behind, see if you can't get some damage off just like that. Exactly the sort of thing that... Why are you turned around right now? Why is that even a thing that you would even contemplate doing for more than a moment? It looks like that shield actually doesn't last that long, though, which is a tiny bit concerning. May not use it that often. Barely got us through one round. We've got a vessel bone over here. Huh. I don't know what that does either. Suppose we'll have to do some investigation later on.
And what does the flame reveal?
This room appears to have been used for some kind of sinister sort of research. Yikes. Probably find a notebook or something in here that'll tell us what's going on. Or we'll just find a whole bunch of cash. That works too. I'll take that. I mean, I would rather be in the dark and confused with a whole bunch of money than be broke and have, like, an idea of what's going on. Forget that. It looks like people are turning into revenants or something because the majority of the people that are being imprisoned down here look like they have fallen victim to the struggle. Either that or people are being converted down and in here. I don't know.
All right.
I'll have to wait and see. None of these are really on our level, so I guess we can just like, ooh, a giant skeleton. That one's a little bit bigger and beefier. Here, I'm going to help you guys out because you seem a little bit confused about the pathfinding right now. You shoot at whoever the hell you want to shoot at, and then you break through the lines and come around from behind. They're going to finish off the job before you get there, because obviously I only hire people who are super efficient at murder. Let's pick up a few more items. Hey, over here.
A simple test.
Oh, good. Somebody else leveled up. Our Amawa friend. He's got lore skills to pay the bills, and so that allows us to, like, what allows us to see... So it's automatically, okay, so attempt to be seen, and then whenever the character's in scouting mode, okay, survival, it's used in conversations, and it allows us to figure out, I don't really know, I have no clue right now. I'm going to skip right now because I don't really know what I want him to do with this stuff. I guess we could just keep going with lore. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Makes his consumables work a little bit better. 1 dozen stood against the power of the saint. Oh, he gets to learn a level 2 phrase. Sure-handed Ela Noctur arrows, that gives reload speed, rate of fire, okay. That's only for ranged attacks, though, so we're not running a ranged party, so it's a little iffy. The fox from the farmer did run and leap. That sounds like one of those spell check things that you do to make sure your keyboard's working. We've got -10 accuracy against disengaging. Rime and frost. Let's see here. Leave a hazardous trail of frost wherever they move, hobbling and causing freeze damage. 1 soul, plus 10 damage against frightening, 10 against terrified. I don't know what the better choice is right here. You don't really disengage very often. But you can make that stack with the AoE fear we've been using, or it'll convert people onto our team, which maybe will allow them to spread the aura all over the place while they run around. I don't know. Is there anything better for level 1? We get it reduces piercing and slashing damage of area. Okay, so that's pretty good. We've got thick grew their tongues, stumbling or words. We've got... reduces concentration, or come soft, winds of death. It's a faux aura, drains a portion of endurance from all enemies in the air. I'm going to go with that one. That one seems pretty good. I like damage. I'm just very simple and rudimentary in that regard, where I just like things that hurt people. We'll go in here. The young man's face is badly bruised and his gaunt form is covered in a threadbare shirt. He watches you shivering with a measure of hope in his eyes. I don't know who you are, but will you help me? Poor lad's taking a beating. We're trespassing as it is. Let's set him free and take a single scolding for it. He gazes nervously past you at an open cell door. I don't think I can fight my way out. I take it you ended up here for assaulting the keep with Kolsch and his men. Yes, he looks away. It sounded like a good plan. We got in without incident, and I knew the way, but we were surprised in the dungeons, and most of us... Well, you'll have seen some of them, fought them, their bodies at least, not their minds anymore, but their souls. The woman down there, Radric's animancer, her name is Osira. I've heard her speaking sometimes, talking about a cure. Lord Radric calls on her often, but she's not curing anybody. She's only turned men and women into monsters. She shudders. Or he shudders. I watched her take the others, and I was sure I'd be next. Men and women turn to this evil to cure Hollowborn? It's madness. Make a run for it. Thank you, stranger. I have to get back to the fork, but first some food and rest, I think. He hesitates. If you would dare the upper floors, please tell Nedmar that I live yet. Tell him that I still have the carving that he gave me of the pale knight. That should convince him, and perhaps he can help you somehow. Okay, cool. Good luck, and may the gods keep you safe. Alright. Good enough for me.
Laying low.
Got anything hidden in your cell right now? You got anything keistered that I can make use of?
The work of a moment.
I'm gonna keep picking locks because, you know, a few bloody fingernails are embedded in the dirt. Ugh, brutal. It's like that scene from Day of the Dead. Or Land of the Dead. That's what it is, Land of the Dead. Looks like we've got a minor cloak of protection down up in there, and then we've got a hammer and chisel and a garnet. Cool. Garnets are formed. Garnets are actually really, really cool little stones. They're formed in high pressure zones. I don't know if I've talked about that at all, but garnets are very, very pretty. They can be like the color of cranberries. I've got a couple of them, but the only problem with mine is that they oxidized once I brought them to a different altitude, and it ruined them all. So they all just look like little rust lumps now. Looks like we got some big-ass oozes in here. Let's get started with some deeps on this side. And then I think we can just auto-attack our way through some of these knobs right here. They're not really that bad of a... Not that bad of a foe. We should be able to work our way through without too many problems. And so there it is. I still hear the sound of people running around, and it weirds me out. I'm pretty sure it's not my party. I don't know. Stealthing, is there anything hidden around? Make sure we don't step on any traps or any other major issues.
Something over.
Don't step on that. Don't you step on that. Durant's, get on that thing. There it is, 120, and that means Aloth has got enough XP to level up, as well as a deer. I don't know how I missed a deer, but let's take him. A deer. Let's go with athletics for you. We can go with vigorous defense. 1 per encounter, plus 20 to all defenses. That's pretty damn good. That's really, really good, and so I would strongly consider it. We got discipline barrage, which increases his accuracy, guardian stance, and so he gets deflection but loses accuracy, and into the fray. I'm going to go with vigorous defense. He's in the fray too much for that to not be useful, and so I figure I'll use that just about every combat. It'll be a nice thing to have around. Aloth, my friend, level 3 spells are now yours. Let's keep you moving along with, I don't know, mechanics maybe? And then we could take level 3 spells now, or we can learn level 1 spells. Level 3 spells, I think, are probably going to be the better investment. We've got Minnaletta's Bounding Missiles. They pierce through the target and leap to other targets. Okay. Displaced Image. Oh, we get to choose 2. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Kalikoth's Minor Blights creates a ball of energy that causes, like, wow. That's pretty cool. Creates a ball of energy that can be thrown at the enemy, causing... That's kind of an interesting idea. Huh. I don't know exactly how that one will play out. Expose vulnerabilities gives a DR reduction, which would have been really, really helpful in that last fight. And minuses to deflection and things like that. And then it's going to be... versus will. Also get Alacrity of Motion. Not really interested in speed buffs. We've got Crackling Bolt. It bounces off walls. That's a little bit risky, and you'd have to worry about it. It's kind of like using Lightning Bolt back in the day in D&D, where it bounces off of walls and it can come back and wipe out your party if you're not careful. Draining Touch does 30 corrosive damage and weakens them. Arduous Delay of Motion makes it so that their attack speed is lowered. And Arcane Damper, beneficial effects. So I take Expose Vulnerabilities. And what do those do? 16 to 24 versus Deflection. Is the difference one that? So 25 to 35 shock versus reflex. Okay. Well, is Noxious Burst an AoE? Yeah, it's an AoE. Repulsive Visage. Let's just go with Minnaletta's Bounding Missiles for right now. It's piercing damage, and it gets really good accuracy, so chances are it's probably going to hit. It looks like they fire how many? 3 missiles, and then it leaps to 2 extra people. And so the damage doesn't diminish when it leaps, and so that might actually turn out to be a really, really good spell. What does Displaced Image do? Let's see here. Causes caster to appear visually displaced. That's pretty good if you got caught up in... I'll just go with those two. We got a nice little debuff, and then we got ourselves a nice little attack spell too. And then I'll see what I can get out of Grimoires from now on. I think we do have quite a few, and then we have the cash to actually invest in some of these, so it might be worth it. Take a look at some of these little guys right here. We got Fireball as well, just in case, and so we can stack those all up inside his spell book. In case we were wondering... No, I don't want to write that into Merwald's Grimoire. That doesn't help me at all. What I wanted to do instead... Got Fireball in there twice, looking all janky. What do we have for level 2? Combusting Wounds has not been that useful lately. And so I might go for something a little bit different, something a tad more direct if that's what we're going to go for anyways. Rolling Flame seems like it'll work. We'll play around with it in just a little bit, but I like the spell assemblage that he has right now. That Crushing Scepter, how does it do versus what he's using right now? He's got a Hearth Harvest. He's got Rending Fine, Burning Lash. That's a pretty good weapon, though. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. Let's continue stealthing our way along right now. Oh, no, Christ. Don't. No! Ow. Oh, it looks like we resisted, maybe. Yay! Resistances for the win.
On your word.
Have you turn around and deal with some of these foes here since they're coming in from behind. There it is. That's the damage that I like to see. That's the pain I like to see distributed. Give it out like candy at a Christmas convention. Are there Christmas conventions? There should be if there isn't. That seems like a very delightful thing to visit. If it's not a thing, I demand that it become a thing soon.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's see what we can work with down and in here. It looks like this is actually sort of just like a little exploratory bonus dungeon, maybe. You turn around. You come down and help right there. Durant's taking a little bit of a love nibble right there. Throw that out to help out with some of the wounds that we've taken so far.
Let's go.
Keep shooting. I should probably fiddle with his songs, shouldn't I? And so how do I mix those in now? If I wanted to mix those in, so for his B song, can I not do these? Okay, I can't do these in the middle of combat. We'll do it in just a moment then. I'd like to play around with a spell that actually just drains endurance per second. That's actually... It seems like it might have a little bit of the old... It might be endowed with the old OP-ness, and so there it is. Let's go back. Oh, look, there's a treasure pit over here. Who doesn't like a treasure pit? I like a treasure pit. It's only got Audra in it, so that's not that big of a deal. Okay, so for song B... So he's got the Harbinger's Doom. He's got Soft Winds of Death. So that's Chant 2. That goes in. What does this one do? Frightening enemies in the effect. We've got... Let's go with the Fortitude buff right there. And it looks like... Can you not move those around? I would just say to do something like that. Just keep the phrasing rocking. And he'll have like a DPS one right there. And then for this one... He'll have kind of like a rotary song that allows us to just have buffs running through and debuffs. And so I think that's pretty cool. That might work out. Are we on speedy mode right now? How come I don't feel like we're on speedy mode? We're not on speedy mode. We are on speedy mode. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. It looks like it's going to take us a while to get through here. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Pillars of Eternity. I'm going to keep plodding my way through the dungeon, hopefully finding...
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Damn. Okay, so anyways, I'll see y'all in the next episode. How you do out there, everybody? My name is Splattercat, and I'll see you there.